What's up, Lash girlies? It's your favorite Lash sister Cam. I'm back with another video. Just wanted to get on here and do a quick recap while also discussing some things I think is really important for lash artists going into 2024. So I have been super busy as always. I've just been busy with inventory and just like running the store, moving into the new location and that sort of thing. So I'm really trying to take a step back from like webinars and teaching and things like that until I can get settled in my space, because I set up my little content area and I want to be able to use it, but I can't use it when I'm constantly working on my store. So that's something that, you know, I really want to get honed in on, especially for 2024. But I just have a couple of things that I really want to share with, you know, any beginner lash artist or anyone interested in becoming a lash artist, or if you're a lash artist now. Here are a couple of things that you will need to really take into account for 2024. You need to come out different. You need to be different. You have to do something different to make your lash business stand out from others. Now, that doesn't mean you have to go to the extreme. You don't have to do anything crazy like have LED lashes and all that stuff. You don't have to do anything extreme like that, but I do think that it's important to have some sense of something that helps you stand out amongst others in the area, whether that's specializing in a certain kind of lashes or a certain style. You need to have something that differentiates you from other lash professionals near you. Second thing is that you're going to have competition. Even though we like to say like, oh, we're not in competition with anyone and blah blah, as much as we like to say that, it's kind of true, as I don't see anyone around me as competition. But when it comes to clients, people are going to, you know, have, you know, lash arts that they can choose from. So just kind of take that into account when you're making your policies and your rules. Like, oh, having all those policies and rules are not helpful. They're not helpful, especially in a time like this where people have options. You don't want to have so many policies and procedures in place that it scares people away from even booking with you. That's definitely not what you want. You want to have, for sure, a client-centric approach. Everything should be about the client. Every and anything should be about the client, all the way down to the experience. You want your clients to have an amazing experience, and part of that is focusing on them. And it's also about cultivating those strong client relationships. Those are especially important too. Understanding the unique preferences and needs of each client, and providing an exceptional experience. This was going to help also help you stand apart from other lash professionals in your area, because right now what we're seeing is a huge influx of lash professionals who are young and are focused on really the money. They're not focused on building those client relationships and actually having long-term clientele. That's not what they're focused on. They're focused on how to pay their rent right now, and those lash businesses always fail because you're not thinking about the long run. You're not thinking about long term, and when you're building a lash business, you want to think long term. So make sure, you guys, that you have a client-centric approach. Everything is about the client, and really try to build those strong relationships with clients. Although we're lash professionals and we can't talk as much during the service, you can still build relationships with your client. You know, ask them how they've been, ask about their kids, whether, you know, it really spark up conversation with them so that you have a chance to, you know, grow those relationships. If not, they're just going to see you as any other lash professional and they won't even bother to really, you know, build a relationship. Next thing is to be able to adapt. You always want to make sure that you're able to adapt in situations, and even now with the economy and everything else, you want to make sure that you can actually adapt, and you can learn new styles, new trends, new things like that. You don't want to stay stagnant. Never stay stagnant, and never stop learning. Never ever get to a point where you feel like, oh, I don't need to learn anything else, I know it all. That the minute that you stop learning is the minute that you put a cap on your potential. Oh yeah, you never want to feel like you know so much to the point where it's like, oh, I don't need any help, I don't need to continue learning, because the minute that you stop learning is the minute that you put a cap on your growth. I always tell girlies entering the lash industry this, or just beauty professionals in general, because it's true. Like, you can't go around thinking that, oh, I know it all, you know, I've touched 6 figures, so I know everything. If you're the smartest girl in the room, you need to find a new room. That's just my take on things when it comes to 2024. You know, you just continuously learn. Always be a sponge. That's how you're going to grow. Because the people who feel like they know it all are stuck in the same spot. So that take a note of that. That's definitely a huge tip, is to make sure that, you know, you can navigate challenges and that you are able to adapt, and you're always learning. You're always a student. Demand of lash services has continued to rise. So don't think like, oh, people aren't getting their lashes done like that anymore. That's a lie. People are still wanting to feel beautiful. People still want to feel, you know, like they're pampered, and that just that feeling as a woman of, you know, what do they say? When you look good, you feel good. Lashes help people feel good. So really play into that. If you're struggling growing your clientele, really play into how your services make people feel, because that goes a really long way. And going into 2024, the way to really differentiate yourself amongst other lash professionals in your area is to have really, really great marketing. That is where a lot of lash professionals lack, is that they're not focusing on the marketing aspect of their business. They're just focusing on how to grow, or they're focusing on too many things at once. They're not really channeling all of their energy into one effort, and I think when you do that, you actually come out stronger. So when I was a beginner lash professional, I was really, really focused on growing my clientele. That was my focus. I wanted to be booked and busy. That was my focus. I wasn't trying to grow my clientele while also being a YouTuber, while also learning new styles, while also training, while also teaching lash professionals. Like, I wasn't doing all of that at one time. I was really trying to hone in on one effort, grow that effort, and then I moved on to something else. A lot of times we're so busy trying to accomplish so many things at one time that we actually end up lacking. Something ends up lacking in one of those areas. So really master one thing before moving on to the next. If you're not fully booked, or if you don't have, you know, a steady flow of clientele, that would be my focus for 2024. Instead of launching that product line that you want to launch, my focus would be, how can I become a better artist? How can I become more booked? Those are things that I would focus on before I started to branch out into teaching lash artists and ebooks and skills and things like that. Because keep in mind, you're creating 2 different audiences. You're talking to 2 different people, and I think that's one thing in the lash industry that needs to be, we need to talk about that, because a lot of lash professionals are talking to 2 different audiences on one platform. And while it may work for some, I don't think it works for majority, because you're talking to 2 different people. In one instance, you're talking to lash professionals. In another instance, you're talking to clients. That is really hard to do on the same page. When you're trying to talk to clients, you're telling them about, you know, how your services help them. But then you turn around and talk to lash artists about your clients. You don't want to do that on the same page, okay? So those are just some things to think about. Really, going into 2024, I advise every lash professional to hone in on something that they want to do in their business, whether it's starting your own product line, if you're ready to do that, whether it's launching an ebook, launching a course if you're ready to do that, furthering your aesthetics license by going to get your teacher's license if you're going to do that. Find something that you can hone in on and focus on that and grow that. This year, for me, 2024, my goal is to be more strategic. It's also, my goal is to grow my YouTube channel, grow my content, and really hone in as a lash artist and content creator, because I'm not just a lash professional. I do lashes pretty much part-time. I barely do lashes now, but I still love to do lashes. But 2024, my goal is to, you know, really get more into lash content and education, and, you know, really honing in as a content creator, because you guys know I want a podcast, I want a YouTube. Like, I really want to be a content creator full on, but in the lash industry. That's my goal. So really find something that you really want to hone in on for your 2024 goals in your lash business, so that you don't feel like you're just all over the place, because that's what you don't want to feel like. You don't want to feel like you don't have a plan. Okay, so just make sure you have a plan. Go by that plan, stick to it, look for help if you need it. As we move into the new year, the reality of being a lash professional is exciting. You should be excited. If you're not already a lash artist but you're getting into lashes, this is a really exciting field, honestly. I mean, watching other people's growth, watching my own growth, I have nothing bad to say about the lash industry. It's completely changed my life. It's completely changed the way that I view money and just life and working. The lash industry has completely changed that for me. So if you are thinking about becoming a lash artist, or if you're currently a lash artist and you're thinking about leaving the industry, I really want you to think about why you want to leave the industry. Do you feel like you're stuck? Do you feel like you don't know what you're doing? If so, get help. Don't stay stuck. But it is possible for you to have everything that you want in this lifetime. You just have to be willing to go after it and be willing to learn. And you know, some of the things that you thought would work in your business might not work. Some of the things that you thought would do really well for your business is not doing so well, you know. And the biggest part is adaptability, like I was talking about earlier. Be willing to adapt, be willing to accept change. Don't take change and be like, well, I don't want to change, I don't want to do anything different. Don't be that person, because change is inevitable. It's always going to happen. But being prepared for it helps you out in the long run. But to sum all that up, you guys, being a lash professional is where it's at, especially in this upcoming year in 2024. We have so much to look forward to in the lash industry. I'm already looking forward to LashCon. Okay, I know I'm in December of 2023, but I'm already looking forward to October of 2024. Okay, like I am already in the planning stages of my Q1 for my lash business, because it's time to get on it. Like it's time to do that. So guys, have a plan. You have limitless potential. If you're watching this, I want you to know you have limitless potential. Your lash business can be successful. Don't stay in the same spot. Get help if you need help. But I just wanted you to know that your potential is endless and the opportunities are there, so go after them. You guys, so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what else you want to see on my channel. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, chicas. Appreciating my solitude. Beef ain't my go-to, but I got bags.